Thanks for joining us once again for another live stream. Food combining. Why food combine? What would be the rationale for that? Folks that have a lot of intestinal distress, digestive disturbances, bloating, gas, can't quite get to the root of that problem. This is kind of an old naturopathic approach. Now, there are certainly a lot of other dietary approaches today. They're a little more in the medical arena, that you begin to reduce certain types of foods for issues. Folks that have a lot of bloating and gas, they could have small intestinal bowel overgrowth that technically can only be cleared up pretty much technically with an antibiotic. I'm not going to go there. Those are other discussions. Those are other live streams and other teachings. Today, why just apply a simple approach such as food combining if you're having digestive disturbances? Because that could be, you might not have a real severe disease state. You might not have gastroparesis, meaning delayed gastric emptying. That would be defined through your physician, through a gastroenterologist. You might not have SIBO, small intestinal bowel overgrowth, that was defined through a breath test, a methane breath test, that you would consume certain amounts of sugar at intervals of time, and then you breathe into a type of an apparatus that measures the amounts of extrusion or expulsion of what's happening with this bacteria. It's not going in the reverse direction. It's coming back up. It's SIBO, small intestinal bowel. There's a lot of things that can create digestive disturbances, and flat out, I just don't have enough hydrochloric acid, or I don't have enough pancreatic activity. But in a simple format, if I've tried some things and they haven't worked, and I've been to the physician, it hasn't worked, why not think about, this is going to be a simple, short, succinct teaching, why not think about food combining, all right? What's the criteria? Well, intestinal distress, we already discussed, bloating, gas, poor digestion. It just seems like I just can't quite get my stomach right with certain foods and certain meals. It might be worthwhile for a period of 2 weeks considering an old time approach and remedy such as food combining. So what are we looking at here? Well, hopefully you can read my writing, but what this is about is taking, for example, eating foods in combinations, food combining, or not eating them in certain combine. Now, this comes from a basic theory that says this, that there are two different types of starches that you consume: high water vegetable starches, high fiber, I like to say, and high water, which would be non-starchy. They would be things like cauliflower and broccoli and spinach and kale and Brussels sprouts. These are high water, high fiber starches. These would be more in the family of potatoes, right? Corn. These are concentrated starches. They are low fiber, and they are less water. So you've got one form of starch, you've got another form of starch. So you'll see that you can combine those two. I'll get to that in a moment. But over here we have fruits. Here we have basic proteins. It doesn't matter whether it's red meat, whether it's a filet, whether it's fish, whether it's chicken or it's eggs. It's proteins, all in the one category in this block. Fruits in another category. Things like starchy vegetables, corn, potatoes, so in another category. And then in the central category, non-starchy, high water, high fiber vegetables. Okay, now you see arrows, 6 different arrows. What's that mean? Well, very simply put, you'll see good approaches, when I have labeled here as good, or things that work, and you have things that are poor that don't work. So let's go over the things that don't work. Typically, let me go back, I'm sorry. High starch, low starch, we defined. Proteins, defined. Fruits. Okay, so you've got the four basic food groups defined for us. So this principle works very simply based on kind of a chemistry equation, saying that starchy foods can be digested in your intestines in a little more of an alkaline environment. So we need to produce hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Maybe I'm on an acid blocker. Maybe I'm on a purple pill. That makes my stomach more, I shouldn't say alkaline, but less acidic. pH of the stomach should be about 1 to 2 when it's digesting foods. That's very acidic. That'll that'll burn your skin. But the stomach is designed to handle that acidity. Starches can be absorbed and broken down at a more alkaline or less acidic environment. Protein, fish, eggs, meats, etc., high protein foods have to be in a little more of an acidic environment. So here's the principle. If I combine certain foods, one that needs to be digested in an alkaline environment, one that needs to be digested more in an acidic environment, what I might be doing is neutralizing the intestinal contents, theoretically, and I can encourage more difficulties with digestion. Now again, is this for everybody? I don't think so. If you've been ruled out that you don't have digestive incompetence, and maybe we've done a complete digestive analysis, stool analysis on you, and it doesn't seem to be or show up with anything. Your physician has checked you for delayed gastric empty and they can't find anything. We've done, or your physician's done, a hydrogen breath test on you for small intestinal bowel overgrowth. They can't find anything. So they just label you as whatever. Irritable bowel. Done a colonoscopy, they can't really find, but you still have problems. Well, I would recommend you go on an elimination diet, first of all. Eliminate wheat and dairy for a period of time. Cook all your vegetables for a period of time. Excuse me. So there might be some other things. You've kind of run your route and you you can't get to the root, legitimate root of your digestive problems, you food combine, all right? So now you've got the principle, what it is, and this simple chart. So you say, wait, what kind of fruits? Well, just fruits in general. Berries, apples, blueberry, doesn't matter. Fruits, proteins lock into one category, starchy types of vegetables, and non-starchy vegetables. Okay, what can you do? Well, you can combine these two together, a potato and vegetable. You're saying, are you kidding me? So what are you saying? You can't eat meat with that meal? Yeah, it's very difficult to follow. That's why it's not always recommended. I recommend it as kind of a latter end approach. Folks just can't quite see themselves clear of their digestive disturbances, and they've exhausted other opportunities. So you can combine these two. Fruits you wouldn't eat with starchy vegetables. Fruits you would not eat with things like a cauliflower. You wouldn't eat it. You'd eat your fruits alone. So fruits kind of should be eaten between meals, away from other foods. You can have protein with non-starchy vegetables. You could have a mixed green salad. You could have kale salad. You could have spinach salad. You could have some steamed broccoli and cauliflower. You could have a piece of protein, fish, chicken. You can combine them. No problem. You do not want to combine protein with a baked potato. You say, well, I can't go out to eat. Well, if you're having digestive problems, you would be willing to try this. It'd be worth your while. Simply put, protein with non-starchy vegetables, no problem. Proteins with fruit, bad combination. Proteins with corn and potatoes, often a bad combination. Fruits with starchy vegetables, bad combination. So what it really takes you to is, when you eat protein, you've got to do it with non-starchy vegetables. If you're going to have a baked potato, you just can't have a piece of protein at that point in time. So this is very difficult to follow. It's very confusing. It's very much out of the norm of the way we typically eat. We typically mix all of our foods together. But food combining, why? Again, why? This is not for your average person. Your average person should be following our live stream on alkaline-forming diets, more of an alkaline-forming Mediterranean-style diet that really kind of encompasses an anti-inflammatory concept. That's the way we should be eating. But if you have digestive disturbances, if you have a lot of digestive difficulties and problems, you've got to consider this for a period of time to see how you do. Food combining can help you with areas that might be undefined or areas that you're having difficulties with. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us on our live stream, Food Combining. This is simple, quick teaching. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. This is for small segment of the population that just needs some help and can't get over their digestive disturbances. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next live stream.